So, yung topic natin for today is ang title niya is Emotional Intelligence. And so, today now we will explore what it truly means to lead the EH way with an extraordinary mind and a heroic heart. So, at EH, we believe that leadership goes beyond technical skills or expertise. It's about how we manage ourselves, how we connect with others, and how we make thoughtful, empathetic decisions even in challenging situations. So, throughout this session, we will dive into the 5 key components of EI. EI na lang yung i-mention ko ha. So, when I say EI, emotional intelligence yun. So, we will reflect on our own emotional habits and practice how we can apply them in our everyday interactions, especially as leaders who aim to inspire and empower others. As we begin, I invite you to keep this in mind. An extraordinary mind allows us to think with clarity, but a heroic heart helps us lead with compassion. And when we bring the two together, that's where true leadership begins. So, emotional intelligence, let's connect it to the EH way. So, at EH, we define leadership not just by results, but by relationships, by how we bring both awareness and empathy into our actions. Extraordinary leaders inspire through awareness. They are mindful of their impact, intentional in their words, and aware of the needs of their team. They don't just react, they respond with purpose. And heroic leaders, on the other hand, elevate others through empathy. They understand that leadership is about lifting people up, listening deeply, showing compassion, and creating a space where others can grow and succeed. So when we lead with both awareness and empathy, we embody the true essence of the EH way, leading with an extraordinary mind and a heroic heart. Now, let's talk about something we often overlook in leadership, emotions. So, agree ba kayo dun? Parang ano no? So, we like to think we make decisions based purely on logic. But in reality, emotions drive decisions more than logic. Think about it. When we feel confident, we take risk. Ang bilis mong mag-decide na parang yun na talaga yun. Confident ka. And when we feel anxious or yung kabaligtaran, syempre ng confident, no, we hesitate. Hindi ka kaagad makasagot, hindi ka kaagad makapag-decide. Emotions are behind almost every choice we make. That's why emotional intelligence is so important. Studies actually show that 90% of the top performing leaders have high EI. So it's not just about IQ or skills. It's about understanding people, managing emotions, and staying composed even when things get tough. And here is the real impact. Teams mirror their leaders' emotional state. Naniniwala ba kayo doon or somehow na-experience nyo na ba yun ganun? Parang kung ano yung, parang if yung leader mo happy, parang ang bilis sa'yo na maging happy ka din, and pag ka naman parang no kabaligtaran ng happy yung meron at the moment dun sa leader mo, you somehow parang baka nagiging ganon ka na din, no? So if you stay calm, your team stays grounded, and if you're stressed or reactive, that energy spreads quickly. Ayun, parang ano siya talaga. Pero bakit no? Bakit ba naman yung stress or yung pagiging reactive yung spread natin? Wag na lang yun, no? Yun na lang being positive na in a right way, and yung pagiging kalmado, yung pagiging grounded. So part of being a great leader isn't just about strategy. It's about emotional leadership. Pero hindi to hindi yung dramang emotional to ha. So because when we lead with awareness and empathy, we don't just manage people, no? We also inspire them. So now let's take a closer look of what emotional intelligence really means. Ito from si Daniel Goleman, one of the leading researchers in this field, defines emotional intelligence as the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions and those of others. Ang dali lang naman, 'di ba? Ng intindihin yung emotional intelligence, your own emotions and yung sa kapwa natin. So let's break that down a bit. First, it's about recognizing our emotions, being aware of what we are really feeling in the moment. Are we calm, frustrated, excited? So self-awareness is the foundation of EI, emotional intelligence. Hindi ko masyadong i-discuss yun for next session yun. Naka-reserve para sa next natin na session. So second, it's about understanding where those emotions come from, what triggers them, and how they affect our decisions and behaviors. And I believe, mukhang naset nyo na talaga yan, itong second, about understanding dun sa where those emotions come from. And third, it's about managing emotions, not ignoring them, but using them wisely. It means staying composed under pressure and choosing how we respond rather than just reacting. But EI isn't only about ourselves. It's also about recognizing and managing the emotions of others, showing empathy, reading the room, and building trust. So in short, EI is the balance between self-awareness and social awareness. Kasi nga, parang sarili mo muna and then yung sa others. And it's what allows leaders to connect, communicate, and inspire more effectively. Isa pang ulit sa emotional intelligence, what it means in leadership. So, EI is inner mastery before outer influence. That means before we can effectively guide, inspire, or influence others, we have to first learn how to understand and manage ourselves. Leadership starts from the inside out. When we know what triggers us, what motivates us, and how to stay composed under pressure, we lead with clarity, not emotion. Then that's what makes our influence authentic, not forced. Now, here's something important. EI is not just a soft skill, it's actually a core strategic skill. Why? Because emotional intelligence impacts performance, communication, and trust. All the things that drive results in a team. Think about it. A technically skilled leader who lacks empathy may complete tasks but won't inspire people. Right, diba? But a leader with a strong EI can unite a team, manage conflict, and motivate others to perform their best. Mastering your emotions isn't optional. It's strategic because when you lead yourself well, you naturally earn the right to lead others well. So EI isn't about being emotional. It's about being intentional. Using emotions as data, not drama. And that's what makes emotional intelligence one of the most powerful strategic skills any leader can develop. So why does EI matters so much, especially for you guys, for your EH leaders? So at EH, leadership, again, isn't just about results. It's about relationships. And EI gives us the foundation to build those relationships with trust, empathy, and authenticity. First, it drives trust and authentic connection. When leaders show genuine understanding and emotional awareness, people feel safe. They open up, share ideas, and commit more deeply. Second, it strengthens collaboration and engagement. Team thrives when they feel heard and valued. Emotionally intelligent leaders bring out the best in others by creating a culture of respect and inclusion. And third, it transforms conflict into understanding. Instead of avoiding tension or reacting defensively, emotionally intelligent leaders listen, empathize, and turn disagreements into opportunities for growth. And finally, it builds resilience and optimism. In times of challenge or change, EI helps leaders stay grounded, hopeful, and solutions focused, which in turn keeps their teams inspired and strong. So for us at EI isn't just a leadership tool, it's part of who we are. It's how we lead with extraordinary minds and a heroic heart. So let's take a step farther and connect it back to the EH way. So at EH, we talk about leading with both the extraordinary mind and the heroic heart. And EI sits right at the center of that. So extraordinary leaders use EI to inspire performance, not fear. And they understand that people do their best work when they feel trusted, valued, and supported, not when they are pressured or micromanaged. Through self-awareness and empathy, they bring out excellence by creating an environment of motivation and meaning. Meanwhile, heroic leaders use EI to face conflict with courage and compassion. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations, they approach them with understanding, listening first, responding with respect, and aiming for resolution rather than blame. They show that strength and kindness can coexist, and that's what makes them truly heroic. So when we talk about EI for EH leaders, it's not abstract, it's practical. It's how we inspire, connect, and lead every day with both the mind and the heart working together. Now that we have seen why EI matters for leaders, let's look at its five key components as again identified by Daniel Goleman. So these five elements give us a practical roadmap for developing our EI every day. First is yung self-awareness. So again, lalampasan ko yung discussion para din meron kayong aabangan sa susunod na session. So but i-mention ko lang no, this is the foundation. It's about knowing your emotions and understanding how they affect your thoughts, behavior, and decisions. Second, self-regulation. Once we are aware, the next step is managing those emotions. This means staying composed under pressure, thinking before responding. Yeah, dapat na ginagawa natin. And adapting when things don't go as planned. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about channeling them productively. Third is the motivation. Emotionally intelligent leaders are driven by values, not just external rewards. They have a sense of purpose and passion that inspires others. This inner drive keeps them focused even when challenges arise. Fourth, we have empathy, the ability to understand and feel what others are experiencing. It's what allows leaders to connect deeply, listen genuinely, and respond with care, especially during moments of tension or change. And finally, social skills. It's about building trust, communicating effectively, and fostering collaboration. Leaders with strong social skills bring people together, and that's where teams truly thrive. These five components form the heart of emotional intelligence, a balance of awareness, control, motivation, empathy, and connection. And as EH leaders, developing this is how we truly lead with both an extraordinary mind and a heroic heart. Self-regulation. So, we call it ngayon, for tonight lang, we will call it in the EH way, mastering the moment. This is all about managing our emotions in real time, especially under pressure. This is about staying calm and intentional even under stress. So remember, no, calm is contagious. So pwede mo siyang iparamdam din, maramdaman din ng mga kasama mo, no. It's also important to respond, no, not just react. So reacting kasi is impulsive, while responding is intentional. They use small habits. Yung kanina, no, parang may nakita ko doon. Hinga muna, no. Then reframing and delaying judgment to stay centered. Because in the end, extraordinary leaders stay composed and practice patience. That's how we truly master the moment. So in the EH way, this aligns with resilience and calm under pressure. It's about, again, managing our emotions, impulses, and behaviors. So leaders who practice self-regulation show restraint and composure, even in adversity. By staying calm and collected, they lead by example, proving that real strength shows up in moments of pressure. Yung third is, third EI skill, motivation, or what we call the inner fire in the EH way. So motivation is the spark that turns emotion into action. Parang na-mention din doon kanina sa presentation. It's what drives leaders to go beyond expectations, not because they have to, but because they want to. So in the EH way, motivation is deeply connected to purpose. Great leaders don't lead from pressure. They lead from purpose. because they know why they do what they do, and that clarity fuels their persistence and optimism even in difficult times. So as Simon Sinek puts it beautifully, when you find your why, you find your way. So when leaders stay grounded in their why, they inspire others to find theirs. That's how motivation becomes contagious and how purpose transforms effort into excellence. So in each way, this aligns with visionary leadership and inspiring others. So motivation in this sense isn't about the external rewards like recognition or status. It's about intrinsic drive. It's the inner commitment to grow, to achieve meaningful goals, and to make a difference. So ultimately, visionary leaders don't push people forward through pressure. They pull them forward with purpose. Our next EI skill is empathy, which we call the heroic superpower in the EH way. It's what allows leaders to truly connect with others. It's more than just understanding someone's word, but it's about feeling what they feel. And empathy builds trust farther than authority ever can. When people feel seen and understood, they naturally open up, collaborate, and give their best. As John Maxwell says, leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. That means before we expect performance, we first need to establish connection. Empathetic leaders listen for feelings, not just for facts. They notice tone, body language, and emotion, and they ask themselves, what might this person be feeling right now? In the EH way, empathy is not a soft skill, it's a leadership strength. It's what turns communication into connection and connection into trust. And in the EH way, we compassionate leadership and building trust. So empathy is about looking beyond our own perspective and considering how our actions and decisions affect others. EI pushes us to be wiser, not to react dramatically or emotionally, but to pause and think about the impact of a decision on everyone involved. It's not just about being nice. It's about being responsible, asking ourselves, how will this affect the well-being of others? Not just today, but in the long run. So when we lead with empathy, our decisions become more thoughtful, inclusive, and sustainable because we understand that every choice we make touches lives. So may sample dito. Focus natin yung empathy, no? So how could the leader have shown empathy in this moment? Ito, during a project presentation, a leader praises the final output but forgets to acknowledge the teammate who stayed late several nights to meet the deadline. So mukhang marami sa inyong ganito. So how could the leader have shown empathy in this moment? Then second, yung what's the impact of recognition or lack of it on team morale? So dito sana dito sa example natin, yung leader, she could have acknowledged the specific effort of each contributor, especially those who went the extra mile. So like a simple statement, I appreciate the long hours and extra effort na binigay ng everyone para matapos yung final output, and then maybe she can mention niya kung sino ba yon specific, kung merong isang member na talagang exert ng effort, who goes extra mile, no? The leader could also follow up privately with the teammate to personally thank them for their dedication. Ano bang mararamdaman ninyo pag ganyan, no? So because recognition, pag ginawa niya yun, no? Yung sa second naman, no? What's the impact of the recognition or a lack of it? So recognition kasi fuels motivation. Kasi when people feel seen, they stay engaged and continue performing at a high level. While lack of acknowledgement can lead to resentment, burnout, or disengagement. No? Baka lalo kang mapagod. Pagod na nga dahil sa late several nights, pero baka pag sinabihan ka na i-recognize yung ginawa mo, no, baka bigla kang isa pa ulit gabi na walang tulog. Hindi naman, joke lang. Ayun, so over time, no, yung kabaligtaran ng recognition, pwede siya kasing mag-cause ng turnover or a silence creativity. So, Yung EI insight natin dito, emotional intelligence helps leaders recognize not just the outcome, but the energy and emotion behind that outcome. And for our final EI skills, social skills, which we refer to in the EH way as building bridges. This skill is all about how we connect, communicate, and collaborate with others. Emotional connections are what turn teams into true communities, places where people feel they belong and want to contribute their best. Strong leaders know that relationships are built through consistent, genuine interaction. They express appreciation publicly, but they handle conflict privately, protecting the dignity and maintaining trust. They also communicate thoughtfully instead of saying you always or you never. They use I feel statements, language that opens dialogue instead of closing it. And when leaders focus on building bridges, the result is powerful. Strong collaboration, higher morale, and a team culture grounded in respect and trust. Because at the heart of effective leadership is connection, and connection is what truly moves people. So in the each way, this translates to collaboration and influence. Social skills are about more than just being people person. They're about the ability to build relationships, communicate effectively, and bring people together around shared goals. In the each way, we emphasize collaboration as a key leadership behavior. And great leaders don't lead alone. They bring others with them. They know how to engage diverse perspectives, foster open communication, and create alignment even in moments of disagreement. And influence plays a huge part here as well. True influence doesn't come from authority, it comes from trust, respect, and credibility. Leaders who master social skills use these qualities to inspire action and cooperation, not just compliance. And when collaboration and influence come together, leaders build teams that are not only product but connected. Teams that move together toward a common purpose. And now that we know what EI looks like, the next step is learning how to apply it in real moments. So, especially the challenging ones. And this is where the EI practice loop comes in. It helps us move from awareness into intentional action. So, we have here, no? Ito, step 1 yung pause, and then to reflect, respond, impact assessment, and calibration. Sa step 1, before reacting, no, we take a breath. This creates a space between the trigger and our response. Then the next, reflect. Ask ourselves, what am I feeling right now? What might they be feeling? And this reflection shifts us from automatic reaction into conscious leadership. And next step is to respond. We choose a response aligned with our values, not aligned with our impulse. And responding beats reacting every time. Next, we have as step 4, impact assessment. After the moment we ask, how did my response affect the other person? Did it build trust or another tension? Next, we have calibration, and this last step is essential. It's where we adjust and improve based on what we learned, not with guilt, but with growth mindset. So leadership isn't about getting it perfect the first time. When we practice this loop consistently, moment by moment, we strengthen our emotional intelligence and grow into the kind of leaders who lead with both clarity and compassion. Now that we have explored the EI practice loop, pause, reflect, respond, calibrate, let's talk about how we can make emotional intelligence as part of our everyday leadership. Here are 3 simple but powerful daily habits that help move us from awareness to consistent action. Yan. May idadagdag ka na sa maraming daily habits na natutunan mo dito sa EHJL journey. So first, listen deeper before reacting. Most of us listen to reply, but emotionally intelligent leaders listen to understand. Before reacting, take that extra moment to hear not just the words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. Second, label your emotions accurately. When we can name what we are feeling, like frustration, anxiety, excitement, or fear, we take back control. Accurate labeling transforms emotion from something that drives us into something that guides us. And third, lead with curiosity, not control. Instead of assuming or commanding, ask questions because curiosity opens dialogue, encourages creativity, and builds trust. And when practiced daily, these habits turn emotional intelligence from a concept into a way of leading, one that's grounded, aware, and deeply human. And eto, key learning points, and I hope medyo natatandaan ninyo kung saan to galing, no? So, key learning points sa EI. Galing to sa, yung first session ng phase 2 from MOC. So, yung key learning points, emotional intelligence starts with self-awareness and self-regulation. Leaders who respond, not react, build trust and safety. Understanding emotions improves relationships and decision making. And we have this EH message: leading others begins with leading yourself. And as we close, I want to bring us back to what the EH way truly stands for. Extraordinary minds, heroic hearts. So, emotional intelligence isn't just about managing feelings or improving communication. It's about leading with both intellect and humanity. It's the courage to pause, the humility to reflect, and the wisdom to respond with purpose. So as part of the EH commitment, I invite each of you to take two simple but powerful steps. First, practice one EI habit daily. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's listening more deeply, showing patience in a tough moment, or simply taking a breath before reacting. Small, consistent actions build emotional strength over. And then second, model calm, because leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about setting the tone. When we model emotional balance, genuine curiosity, and compassion, we create environments where others can do their best work. And if we each commit to these principles, we build more than teams. We build communities. Communities led by extraordinary minds and heroic hearts. And ito na, assignment. Thank you!